What's up? What's going on? This is the UFC Critic back. Missed a couple events, um, but I'm going to be doing the predictions here for UFC. What are we at now? 76? 76 Knockout. Uh, Overall, the card is not looking spectacular by any means, especially compared to the cards that we've had lately. We've been quite spoiled, but I'm just to preface this. I mean, I am just so angry about the Matt Hamill Bisping decision. I just thought you couldn't. Somebody who's never watched MMA in their lives could watch that fight and understand that bare minimum Matt Hamill won 2 of those rounds. I think he won all 3. I tend to score MMA fights, in my own personal opinion, by the guy who controlled the fight more than, technically who landed more jabs, because Bisping landed ineffective jabs in my opinion. But I think that Hamill totally controlled that fight from start to finish. Yeah, he gassed a little bit at the end, but you don't judge a fight by who gassed. Conditioning is not a part of the criteria for judging a fight, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. If it was, sure, you'd give Bisping points there. But, Hamill showed much improved stand-up. He looked better on the feet, in my opinion, than Bisping did. Took him down, he must have taken him down 15 times during the fight. It was just incredible. I might be exaggerating there a little bit, but it was just constantly taking him down. When Bisping got back up, took him down again. This video is not about UFC 75, but I just wanted to throw that in there because I didn't get to put up a prediction video for that, which I certainly would have picked Bisping, but I lost a lot of respect for Bisping's game watching that fight. I think he was really exposed, and his takedown defense is clearly not good. I mean, he stuffed a few takedowns when Hamill got tired, but yeah, he's got some issues he's got to work out, a couple kinks. So to UFC 76 here, doing it a little bit early, but why the hell not? The main card here, it's good to see Justin McCulley's fighting, so that should be a good one. I won't be predicting that because I don't really know who his opponent is, do I? All right. Diego Sanchez versus John Fitch should be an interesting fight. I see this fight taking place exclusively on the ground. They might trade early, but I think Diego will probably get a takedown, and yeah, I think they'll trade positioning on the ground. But in my opinion, Diego's hungry. He had just a terrible loss. He's coming off a terrible loss, and I just think that to Koscheck, and he's got to come back. He's got to dominate this fight. He's got to be the fighter who was undefeated until that fight, and I believe he will. I believe that he'll control the fight on the ground, even though John Fitch is excellent on the ground. I think John Fitch would be well served, as you saw the Koscheck fight, to keep the fight standing, even though that's not necessarily his strength. But I think that's what he should do. I doubt that he will, because I think you go with what got you there, and I just think that all around on the ground, I think as a grappler and on the ground, I think that Diego's a better fighter. So I'd say he'll probably win a decision. So that's my pick there. Nakamura versus Machida is going to be an awesome fight. I think it's going to be the best fight of the night. Again, I think that this is kind of a tailor-made fight for Machida. I know a lot of people think Nakamura is going to win the fight, but I just think that Machida is going to keep this fight on the feet. Get him in a clinch. I see a stoppage here. I think that Machida's going to stop him. Machida he's looked great in the UFC, and I'm going to make it short and sweet. I'm going to call a second round, possibly early third round stoppage for Machida, even though Nakamura is a really good fighter. But that might be the fight of the night there. That's a tough fight for Nakamura to have to fight. All right, so Mauricio Shogun Rua versus Forrest Griffin. I mean, yeah, it's great for Forrest. I mean, he gets another high-profile fight. But, I mean, for me, Shogun, there's not much upside to this fight. If he wins the fight, everyone on Sherdog and everywhere is going to say, well, he's supposed to win the fight. If he gets caught, which is always a possibility, you know, Griffin throws some bombs, and that's what he's going to try to do, no doubt about it. If he gets caught, then all of a sudden, you know, oh, well, Shogun's not any good. So, you know, this is a tough fight for Shogun because of that. He's going to have a lot of expectations, a lot of weight on his shoulders, and he's going to have to go out there and perform, which I believe he will. I think Forrest Griffin is clearly, as we all know, I'm not making any huge prediction here. I think he's going to keep it on the feet as long as he can. Although that may be, you know, be careful what you wish for, because he'll probably get knocked out that way too. Shogun is no slouch on the feet. We've seen him knock out many a man, especially, you know, get like Rampage in that clinch and then just kick him in the head. I'll tell you one thing, Forrest Griffin's lucky that there's no kicking in the head when you're down, because he will be down at some point. I think that who is going to stop this fight? I think Griffin will survive the first round. He's a tough guy. He takes a lot of punishment. He could catch Shogun, and then you never know. He could catch him and stop him. We've seen crazier things have happened, especially this last year. But I think that more what you're likely to see is Shogun stopping this fight, getting it on the ground, and stopping the fight. I believe that'll happen. I think that's the best thing for MMA, for Shogun to win this fight, so we can get some of those higher profile fights that we haven't been able to see. You know, with Wanderlei there now, with, you know, one of these guys can fight Chuck, or, you know, Tito. There's a lot of big fights. You know, Quinton, obviously. Maybe Shogun wins this fight and faces Quinton next. So I think it's best for the UFC if Shogun wins this fight, even though, you know, how can you root against Forrest? But, all right, Thiago Tavares versus Tyson Griffin. How do I see this fight? I think Tavares is going to win. I think he's a stronger guy, although many people might disagree with me on that. I just think he's stronger. I like him better grappler. I like him as a better grappler. I think he's going to control the fight. I don't really see a stoppage in this fight, so I'm going the 3-round decision. Although these decisions, we know lately, who knows. But I think Tavares is going to win the fight, and I'm probably the only person that thinks that. So we'll see what happens. Chuck Liddell versus Keith Jardine. I don't know how much more time I have on this video. Let me check. Okay, I got to make this quick. Everything Keith does, Chuck does better. He's a better striker. He's, you know, he never gets to be on the ground because it's not his game, but he's very serviceable on the ground. Keith is certainly not going to be trying to take Chuck down. It makes no sense. It's just, why try to do it? We saw Tito, who's a much better wrestler than Keith, take him down, and he got right back up. So this fight's going to stay on the feet, and it's going to end, well, for one guy on the feet, and one guy's going to be out cold. Of course, Chuck could get caught. We all know that. We saw that with Quinton Rampage Jackson. So maybe Chuck gets caught. Who knows? I think this fight will probably go late into the second round, and I think I'm going to call for a Chuck stoppage and see him get back on track. Maybe we can see Chuck versus Wandy. You know, Chuck versus Shogun next. Who knows? So let's look for that to happen. I like my predictions. I think that they're pretty much... I don't see these fights going any other way than the way I predicted them, except I'm sure one or two of them will, because somebody will get caught. It always happens. You know, 4-ounce gloves. What are you going to do? All right, so it's good to be back. Look forward to making more videos, and peace out.